welcome to the Hot Corner Hangout with at J Don't Fade. I will be your host today and every day for the foreseeable future and in the past. So, going ahead, jumping right in here. As you can see, I have a couple takes here, and I thought it was probably time to talk about it with Fernando Tatis Jr. and not even in general, just with him. Probably him and Jazz Chisholm, probably the bigger guys that are attracting the youth to the sport today. It's clearly obvious why. They both have a different kind of swagger about them, the way they play the game. They're definitely having fun out there 24/7. Needless to say, they're both going to be very rich men. Well, not both. One of them is already an extremely rich man, and then you've got Jazz Chisholm, who's in line for a monster extension as well. Tatis has been a pretty big disappointment to Friar faithful and to the Padres fans in general. I'd say over the last, year? About a year now. He did play most of last year, of course, but about a year now. And that being said, let's just jump into the timeline. I want to go over the timeline here, and I'll try and start with not everything here because he's got an extensive timeline because he really did take a long path to get to the MLB and become what he is today, or what he was a year ago, and what he is today is a different timeline, but we'll jump into it. We'll cover all of it. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the surgery, okay? Actually, no, we're not going to start with the surgery. We're going to start. We know Tatis is a superstar. He became a superstar. 2020, he got a huge contract. The contract he got was huge, unprecedented, really, for someone at that time, for the amount of money he was given. Now, the length, maybe not, but the amount of money. 14 years, $340 million. It's a lot of money. That's 24.2, we'll round it up, $24.3 million a year until the year 2035. At that year, he will be 35. So the Padres figure 14 years. This kid's a stud. He's a superstar. He's only going to get better. He's extremely young. As it stands, when he got the contract, I believe he was 21. He's now 23. Let's see here. Just trying to take a look at how the bonus plays out, the yearly cash. Yeah, they really start paying him the big bucks as far as the cash that comes out. 2025. He gets 20 million that year, next year 20, next year after that 25, 25, 36, 36, 36, 36, 36, and it finishes out at 36 as well, which totals out to $337 million, $337,106,295. So, timeline. Jumping into the timeline, it all started right here. December 8th of 2021, after a year in which the Padres missed. They do have Manny Machado, in my opinion, probably the best third baseman in baseball. Him and Arenado kind of fight, back and forth, tick and tack for that every single year. And they're both in the NL now, right? Because Manny's no longer an Oriole. It's been a while since that. So you got the two best third basemen in baseball, clearly, in the NL. Okay. Alongside that, here's some of the other players you've gotten in San Diego and this rejuvenated new team that they thought was going to have life for the next 10, 15 years to compete in a hard division, like they are in the NL with the Dodgers, and the Giants have their years as well. And you've got some other teams there. The D-backs are fighting, and they're getting a little bit better here, right? And the Rockies are eventually going to be good, right, because they've had good players, and they still do have some good players, some good young guys. Brendan Rodgers and whatnot. So, taking a look here, December 8th, 2021, Padres are sad. They just lost out on another postseason appearance, right? And it's Tatis is reported to have been in and this is December 8th of 2021. Tatis is reported to have been in a motorcycle accident that multiple people close to him said was minor. Those people said he had resumed baseball activity shortly after the accident, something the Padres confirmed. However, as the team would find out after the MLB lockout ended, that was not the extent of the story. Okay, so we're going on, right? He's in a motorcycle accident. People are saying he's irresponsible, blah, 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 but nothing too serious yet because he's a star, right, of the game, and they want to protect his image. March 14th, 2022. On the first day of spring training, the team announces that a pre-camp physical revealed a fractured scaphoid bone in Tatis' left wrist. He's expected to miss at least 3 months following surgery, which occurs 2 days later. So you think March, right? So you got March, or April, June, July, okay, something like July, right? So that's at least 3 months. Let's say we get him back in like early August, right? Say everything's working out good. He's a young guy. He's healthy, right? He probably eats right. And does he make smart decisions? I don't know about that. That's something else. But he eats right? And he's one of the most athletic players in all of baseball. Maybe he'll just be better, and we'll get him right in time when we need him right, and we'll get a couple guys to the deadline. Who would have thought that we got Juan Soto? But that'll enter the picture later in a minute here. But Juan Soto, Manny Machado, and Tatis, that's a dream team for years to come, right? All guys, very young. Well, Manny's a little bit older, but either way, you got Juan Soto. You've got probably 2 or maybe even 3 of the top 10 players in baseball in one roster, one team. If you have 3 of the top 10 players in one division, you think it's a great division. This is one team. You may have 5 to 6 of the, you may have like 6 or 7 realistically of the top 10 players in baseball in not only one division, but in 2 teams in LA and San Diego. It's a battle for another day. But either way, August 5th comes around. This is where people start to get excited again. Okay, this is right after a Juan Soto trade. We traded a lot of prospects. We got Juan Soto, best hitter in baseball. We got Manny Machado. Manny's really feeling it this year, right? He's slumping a little bit, but he's feeling it this year. Was on his way to an MVP award until Paul Goldschmidt did what he did and went insane like he always does. And we got Tatis coming back. We're going to do great, right? We're only a couple games back. We're probably like 10, 11 games out of the division, but that's still possible, right? August 5th happens, right? August 5th, 2022. Tatis departs Dodger Stadium following a live batting practice session. Heads for the airport for a flight to San Antonio, beginning a rehab assignment the next day. He plays in 4 games, was expected back as soon as their August 18th game at Petco Park. Like I said, Fire Faithful, Padres fans excited. We're going to get to see what this dream team looks like. They have one not far away from them. They had one not far away from them in Golden State with KD, Draymond Green, Steph Curry, of course, and Klay Thompson, right? And then a slur of other men that were there, shorter guys that were veterans that were good, right? Boogie Cousins, right? So now they want to have her own dream team, right? In San Diego. Then this happens. This was the day I remember too. This is where I got the idea of we got to talk about this, right? August 12th, 2022. It's a Friday, by the way. So you go into the weekend with this. That really matters. Tatis is suspended 80 games for using Clostable, which is banned. Clostable, I could be saying it wrong. I'll try one more time. Clostable, which is banned by the MLB as a performance-enhancing substance. Okay, so there's not much official news as to why he used the substance. People, your common fan or I don't know what you would call him, like your mundane, basic fan, your average fan would probably say like, oh, he's just using steroids, right? Because that's the narrative around baseball. He's using steroids and he's trying to get better in performance and enhance his performance by using performance-enhancing drugs. And knowing Tatis, he doesn't need to do that because he's honestly one of the best players in the game. He's young and raw, and his defense is a little bit better. And maybe he slumps a little bit at the plate, but when he's on, he is on. There's no player like him. From what I've heard and what I'm going to confer with the most that I've heard, at least the most news I've heard in this relating story, is that he was using it for either ringworm or possibly to try and cover up scars from the motorcycle accident, and he didn't know it was banned. However, his fans, whatever you want to call them, they did not take it very friendly, right? They seem to have, I don't want to say gave up on him, but they were pretty upset. Like even the teammates, right? Really, that's really what I wanted to say was teammates. I got to look at the name real quick. I remember I always get them confused because there's a couple of them in the league, and I'm going to find it in just a second here. But he is a Padre as well, and that is, I believe it's Mike Clevenger. I could be wrong here, but Mike Clevenger had made a comment about Tatis saying, he's this kid, like we all love him and everybody loves him, and he's this great guy, but like he just let us down. He let us down so many times, time after time. And like hearing that from a teammate was like, wow. Those are usually words that you're heard right before trade rumors are starting to be talked about the player. And of course, Tatis being locked into a humongous deal, you probably don't see that happening, right? But it's possible, right? But, and now to jump into, and just to give you, I want to get his projected date that he's back so you can have an idea of just how long lasting this really is, because he played his last game in like the month before, like a day into the month before the end of the season last year. So I think he's had another injury again. But like his projected date back is May 1st, and this is just projected. It's approximate date, and this is by MSN. Thank you for that. This is from the San Diego Tribune from Kevin Acey and John Schlegel. May 1st, 2023. That's the approximate date Tatis can return from suspension. He'll be 24 years old, 119 days old on that date. When he last played in a major league game, he was 22 years, 275 days. That's almost 2 years off from baseball. That's like Teddy Bridgewater coming back from the torn, was it Achilles? Torn Achilles or ACL injury and getting the round of applause because of how long. It's like, wow, we are welcoming you back to the sport because you have been gone for so many calendar months, so many Christmases, so many birthdays. Like that's 2, right? That's a long time, right? 2 years in a player's career. He's going from 22 to 24. That's 2 years that they're not getting, or a year and a half combines about 2 years. 2 years of play, right? A year and a half, 2 years of play that you're not getting from your star player. Now you've got two other ones, but it doesn't seem like that's going to be enough to carry them because they are very flaky. They're doing well right now, I'll tell you that. They're beating up the Dodgers last I checked, about to sweep the Dodgers, but and they blew them out in all the games from what I've seen. But like they need more. Like they need more, right? They need more of their pitching, but they need more out of Tatis, someone who they've locked up to the tune of 14 years, $340 million. Now, some people say, and this might be part of it too, some people say he's a shortstop. I think he's more of a second baseman. Is he extremely athletic? Can he make a lot of plays? Yes, but I think if they were smart, they move Cronenworth over to short, or if they don't have faith in Cronenworth at short and they want a better defender at short and to cover that corner there. I know they got Manny at the hot corner, but Manny has played short. Manny likes playing short. I think Manny would love to play short. I think he wants to play short. He wanted to play short in Baltimore, and they said, you know what, Manny, we don't want to lose you. We don't want to fight with you, but we just want you to stay. As long as even if you're going to get rid of you, we want you to stay as long as we can have you. Go play short, Manny. And he played short, and then he went back over to the Padres. We even played short for his first year, maybe, and even here or there. But he's playing third again at the hot corner. Of course, he's a Gold Glove, Platinum Glove third baseman. But that being said, I think it makes sense to move Tatis over to second just because he does commit a lot of errors. And once he starts to show and maybe get into that Gold Glove conversation second, then we can revisit the shortstop thing. He's still very young. Again, even when he comes back after all this nonsense and being an all-star for a year or two, being an all-star for 3 years and then having a year and a half, 2 years off, even then he'll still only be 24. You know what I mean? That's insane, but yes, he'll only be 24. And I think you maybe look around that 27, 28 mark. He's had another 2 years to get his feet wet and really start to read the ball and kind of see different hitters and what they do in their practices and talk with veteran shortstops and second and third and veteran infielders, both in the game now and retired of the game, that can teach him to make him a better shortstop because I think he can be a fantastic shortstop. I just think he has a couple things he needs to work on. We've seen the plays where he gets up, where he gets up freaking 17 feet vertical to get up and get a ball. I've seen it many times. The times where he's going to grab the throwdown from the catcher from Austin Nola, and he does like a sliding in to grab it and try and tag the guy. Or when he slides in, like he's very athletic. Probably he might be the best athlete in all of baseball, with Jazz Chisholm. Jazz is also another very good athlete. Or Jorge Mateo, even his former teammate, now lovely Baltimore Oriole. But yeah, I think he needs a little bit of time there. But regardless, I want to say I don't think he's done. I think he's going to learn from this. I've seen a lot of what he's said based on how everything has went and what the reactions he's had to what the teammates have said and whatnot. And I think that he's going to learn from this. It just sounds like from the narrative he's giving out and what the teammates are going. Teammates have kind of silenced a little bit on it and not kind of bashing him anymore, right? It was almost like here's your medicine, take your medicine. You wanted it, right? And then Tatis said, yeah, I know, I fucked up and like I need to stop, right? And I've got to start focusing on baseball, and I've just made so many mistakes. I think what happened to Tatis was he got in the car, he got in the motorcycle accident, tried to fix it up, whatever, with this clostable and the ringworm, and I think he just got in really deep, really, really quickly and made really just one or two mistakes that led to this onslaught of mistakes. But here's the thing, I think he's young, and I think that he has a possibility to be able to come back from this without any really damage to, of course it's going to damage his team because I've been for 2 years, but any future damage to the Padres, future damage to his relationships in the locker room. Will he have to gain back the trust? Yes, he will, but I think that can be done with a player of his caliber and of his leadership and of his character, especially. I don't think he's this big asshole that just is selfish and does what he wants. I think he's a young guy that got money really quick and made one or two mistakes that led to everything. That's my take on it. That being said, we'll have to see what happens. You know what I mean? I gave you the projected date. That's May 1st, 2023. That's when he can approximately return again. 24 years, 119 days old at that time, 22 years, 275 when he played his last game. That's my take on Tatis. So let's jump into our next subject. Actually, you know what? Let me give you a quick update. I want to give you guys a quick update on the AL wildcard race, and then we'll talk about our last subject, which is the AL and NL Rookie of the Year awards that are starting to really heat up here in the last month of play. We'll go ahead and give you a quick update on the wild card. You know what? I have the AL wild card race got exciting. We could give you a small update on the NL one too. It's not very exciting. Kind of seems like the teams that are there are not fully solidified, but there's bigger gaps between the teams. Whereas in the AL, they're all a couple games apart at most. Let's see. We'll pull them up from the MLB. I know a lot of games are. It's 9:37 p.m. on September 3rd, 2022, Saturday. So the games are kind of still in progress at this point. We'll give you an update here on the wild card. So you got 3 spots now. That's the difference this year. So we'll start with the NL, and then we'll get to the exciting one. So you got the Braves in the first spot. They're up 9 games on the next closest team. You've got San Diego in the second spot. They're only up a game. Philadelphia is in the third wild card spot, dead even, and they're down. Well, not dead even, but in the third wild card spot, so they hold the margin or the bar or the pylon you want to reach. And the next closest team is the Brewers. They're 3 back, but the Brewers are also. I want to see here. I want to see the division standings. Brewers are 3 back in the wild card, and they were pretty close in like their division, like a couple of games out, but that's distance now. They're 7.5 games back of St. Louis, who last I checked was taking care of the Cubs. They were down like 3-2 to the Cubs, and now it's like 7-3 or something like that. Last I checked, of course. And just trying to check to see if we had an update from the Orioles game. Didn't look who we did. So that's the NL wild card. The AL wild card right now, first place, and this is kind of shifted because it was the opposite. It was Toronto first, Seattle second, Tampa Bay third. It's now Tampa Bay first, Seattle second, Toronto third. So the way it looks now is you've got Tampa Bay Rays up 2.5 games in the wild card, Seattle Mariners up 2 games in the wild card over the Jays, and the Jays in the wild card, and they are up a measly game and a half in my Baltimore Orioles, and the Twins are 4 games back. So we're starting to build some. This is the important thing for me. That in that last week of play, the Orioles games matter. You know what I mean? It's all gonna come down. It's very clear. Like, yeah, the other games matter, but it's really because the Blue Jays are hot and Seattle is hot and Tampa is hot and Baltimore's hot. Like, it's a really exciting wild card race because you have all these teams that are doing so well. Like, let me see here. Like, here you go. This is why it's exciting. The Tampa Bay, right? So you got Tampa Bay, Seattle, Toronto, Baltimore. These are their streaks they're on right now. Tampa Bay has won 5 in a row. Seattle has won 5 in a row. Toronto lost one, but is back in the winning streak, right? And they're about to win now because I think there might have been an inside the park grand slam from Bo Bichette. I have to double check, but Toronto has just won one. Baltimore's on a 3-game winning streak right now. The score of the game currently in Baltimore is 7-1 in the bottom of the 6th. I'm sorry, top of the 7th. Adley Rutschman singles in the bottom of the 6th, brings home Jorge Mateo. 7-1 over the Athletics. We're going to go for the sweep tomorrow. No rubber match for us. We're going to go for the sweep. We got to win all our games, especially against bad teams like the Athletics. I'm not bashing the Athletics. They'll get better eventually once they get new owners. But that's the AL wildcard race, as you can see why I think it's more exciting. Now, jumping into our last topic, and that is the AL and NL Rookie of the Year betting odds here. And I'm going to give some betting picks here, because why not? Let's get that loaded up here. Hope everybody's enjoying their Saturday night. I am. The Orioles are winning. So, let's go with the NL. We'll start with the NL again, right? I just think the NL is a little bit less exciting this year. The AL is really exciting. Not only because my team's in there, I have a clear bias, but there's just more exciting stuff going on. Younger teams, like there's a lot of really good young teams. Like the Orioles are one of them. Toronto is one of them. There's a lot of teams that have like this AL is going to be very good for a long time with the talent we've got here. NL Rookie of the Year. Right now, the current odds are Spencer Strider at -175, Atlanta Brave, starting pitcher. Just fanned 16 in Colorado, I believe, the other night. That's right, 16. This wasn't a game MLB The Show. This is a real game. He fanned 16 over 8 innings, I believe. Gave up like a hit or two, maybe 2 hits, something like that. And I don't even know if he gave up a run, to be honest. But he fanned 16. That's fucking insane. And his buddy on the other side of the diamond at any given time, Michael Harris, star center fielder, who I think would probably be in line for a Gold Glove if he was here from the beginning of the year. Michael Harris, he's +125 to win. And then there's Brendan Donovan, who started off scorching hot the year and still is doing pretty well for the St. Louis Cardinals. That's Brendan Donovan. He's at +10,000 odds. And then you got Christopher Morel, another young piece that they have in Chicago, which I think Chicago's rebuilding fairly quickly because they got a lot of good young pieces, a lot of good pieces on the farm. And they've got Contreras, who they're going to keep, they're going to trade, but they're going to trade and get a nice little haul for him as well. I just don't know if they're going to be willing to spend money soon. I mean, they did sign Marcus Stroman, which was kind of strange, being as they're going into a rebuild, but I don't know. They just want to give entertaining baseball to their fans, I think, which I can respect because we haven't had much of that in Baltimore in the last, I don't know, what'd you say, 4 or 5 years? So I think that race, if I'm giving my pick on it, I kind of want to take Michael Harris, and I only say this because of this. Michael Harris he has more opportunity to disappoint, but he doesn't disappoint. I mean, he is well in the field and with the bat, around 300, hovering around 300 for most of the year, hitting, right? And he's got pop. He's got speed. He's like having another Acuna, and he's not as great as Acuna, but I think he could be. Spencer Strider he only has to play once every 5 days, but he has less room for error. And I know you say it doesn't make sense because he plays less. He only has one start every week. So if he gets Sheldon a week, the narrative for that entire week leading up is, all right, can he get better? Michael Harris said the whole week is hitting, right? So he's hitting, or just hitting. Say he's just going 1 for 3 in the games. He's hitting, right? He's hitting. He's getting his stats up every game. Well, the whole talk for that week is, oh, Strider had a bad one. They're not even thinking about rookie of the year. Thinking about, is he getting better? He's a young guy, right? Where Michael Harris has every day almost to be able to, unless he's, of course, they have that random off day once or every week or once every 2 weeks sometimes for some of the teams, depending on the schedule. And if he has an off day, right? But like he has a whole week to get it. I'm taking Michael Harris to win Rookie of the Year. He's been phenomenal, and I really love the kid. I'm a big, if anybody knows me, I'm a big card collecting guy, and I think that I just had a really nice Michael Harris piece today, and I actually ended up selling it. I didn't want to sell it, but I did. $100 for a rookie patch auto. It's Leaf Trinity, nothing crazy, but beautiful piece either way. Now, enough of that. Jumping into the exciting one, and this is really our last talking point here of the night on the Hot Corner Hangout, and that is the AL Rookie of the Year odds. We've got Julio Rodriguez, and this isn't really an exciting race only because of the fact that Mike Elias didn't call Adley Rutschman up sooner because I think he'd probably have it. To be completely honest with you, if he called Gunnar Henderson up sooner, I think Gunnar Henderson might be the one with Julio Rodriguez has minus 550 odds. I think that might be Gunnar Henderson because Gunnar Henderson has had a hit in all 4 of the games he's played thus far. He is batting 6 for 13 or 7 for 14. He's batting about 500. Home run in his first game, double in his first game, 2 for 4 in his first game. Right, hit in every game since. Hit tonight, 2 doubles the other night. He's fucking tearing the cover off the ball. And we're really excited about it. In Baltimore, of course, right? So Adley Rutschman, plus 450. So these are the odds as they go. I'll start from the top. Julio Rodriguez, minus 550, clear favorite to win it. Adley Rutschman, plus 450. Jeremy Pena, who I like. He's a really good kid in Houston, and I don't think he gets enough credit. He's going to be fantastic. He's taking over Carlos Correa's spot at shortstop, or his absence at shortstop. Well, Carlos Correa is in Twins, and wherever he goes next, because he will definitely opt out this year. It's talk for another day, but he'll definitely opt out this year. Jeremy Pena is at plus 6,600. Bobby Witt Jr., plus 6,600. Stephen Kwan, plus 6,600. George Kirby, plus 6,600. And Jose Miranda, plus 10,000. Who's missing off that list? Spencer Torkelson. Big shocker. No, Torkelson has been absolutely awful this year, which is insane because he was like one of the best college bats that I had seen in a while, and he has, at least from what people had said, right? And he looks like he can hit, right? Like he had a lot of power, and he'd have fun at Comerica Park, and he's just really, really struggled to get bat on ball this year. A lot of strikeouts, a lot of flyouts. I think he's just a guy that needs a little bit more time, but I wouldn't give up on him quite yet. He's a fantastic talent. He's got all the talent to be able to do that. He's just got to kind of hone it in. He's very raw. So, and they may have rushed him a little bit. I don't know. We'll see what happens there for Torque next year. But I'm taking Julio Rodriguez to win this one. He's at minus 550 for a reason. I'm not betting against that. Would I like to see Adley Rutschman? I think if Adley Rutschman came up a month earlier, you may be seeing Julio Rodriguez at minus, 150 and Adley Rutschman at plus 150, something like that, or plus 160-ish, in that range there. Just because Adley Rutschman has been so fantastic behind the plate. Yes, he's slumping right now, but when he's on, and he's a hell of a leader. Truly defining what Rookie of the Year means, in my opinion. But that's all we got in the Hot Corner Hangout tonight. We're going to go ahead and get a Twitter up for you guys and try and get you some more content there and some, hopefully at some point, not daily videos, but daily, 3 or 4 times a week if we can. Of course, we'll still try and have our live podcast every week as best we can. We'll be here to give you some feedback here and give us some comments if you will. And for now, though, that is the Hot Corner Hangout. You guys have a good night and go Birds.